What were you talking about? Forgive my indiscretion.
I've just arrived. It might be bad manners to go upstairs without being invited. Devil's Thorn. Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch, a biography of the great men.
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for... Warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi? He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence. It's simpler.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Moras de Richet. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you forgive my indiscretion?
Believe me, she's not that special. His Eminence was asking me for my opinion about the style of the main door. I have to admit, this place certainly doesn't lack panache.
It's simply stupefying.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even money matters. But you'll see, it will come. Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Holm, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organizes a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Like you, Mr. President, I'm here as a result of Lord Mortimer's invitation.
2 members of the same family here. That is rare.
You know what they say. You can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Good Lord. Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order. It's the highest distinction of the order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit. That's the man for my vision.
An urgent case has delayed our host, Lord Mortimer. He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apologies.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up? Great start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat. Very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer. So don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, we shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I've already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this home. I saw him in my vision. My vision is more important. Let's follow home.
I'll follow you, sir. Mr. Washington, I hope to speak with you at greater length on another occasion. Emily, please excuse me, but I would like to speak to Sir Home. I shall see you later.
My friend, I hope our dear Giovanni is well.
The troubles in France have fatigued him, but he will recover slowly. Do not fear. He apologizes for remaining in Rome. The voyage was too much for him.
And right he was too. The mildness of the Mediterranean, eh? Come, sit down and have something to eat, my friend. You look rather pale. Excuse me, sir. I have been neglecting my duty. I haven't introduced myself. Sir Gregory Home, an old friend of Lord Mortimer's.
A real pleasure, sir.
You who must be well used to the court of France. How do you find this peaceful little haven?
Charming if I hadn't come here for disturbing reasons.
Yes, I heard the news. What a story.
Indeed. I wanted to ask you. You seem to know my mother well. Is that true?
Who does not know of her, sir? She has such a wide circle that everyone knows your mother from a distance or closer.
Everyone knows Sarah, my son.
But you only know her by her reputation.
I remember she once worked for the Crown of England and that she always honors her engagements. However, we have never been personally introduced, sadly.
Well, if I'm to believe my vision, you're not going to get along with her.
Thank you for your answers, Sir Home. But I beg your pardon. I get the impression I know you. Have we met?
Except in my dreams, of course.
Not that I remember, young man. Perhaps you're mistaking me for another member of the Chamber of Lords. What with the wig and the powder, it wouldn't be the first time.
No, you were definitely the one I saw threatening my mother.
I thought... Never mind. It'll come back to me. Would you allow me one last question, sir? I don't want to take up all your time.
Please, go ahead. What do you want to know?
Do you know the reason for my mother's presence here?
I haven't the slightest idea, no. She was invited by Lord Mortimer.
But you don't know why?
Well, not really. I was given to understand that your mother was looking for something.
And do you know how long my mother and Lord Mortimer have known each other?
Several years, I believe. They seemed to know each other for quite a while. But it was the first time that Lord Mortimer had invited her to join us here.
Good. And finally, would it be possible for me to speak with Lord Mortimer this evening?
I'm terribly sorry, no, he really is quite unavailable. But please rest assured that everyone is doing their best to find your mother.
All the same, it's not the Chateau de Versailles. It can't be that difficult to find her.
Worry not, my son. I am persuaded that we shall find the famous Sarah de Riche. No doubt with new adventures to share, huh?
No!
Elizabeth! I should have insisted that you rest in your room.
Do you want me to call someone?
Let me handle this. I'm used to this kind of thing. Miss, can you hear me?
Leave me.
Stand back, please, so she can breathe.
Elizabeth is accustomed to this kind of thing.
It looks like it's just a dizzy spell. Can you tell me something about her? The dizzy spell is harmless, but her general condition is frankly alarming. You seem to know her. What is she suffering from?
I don't know exactly, but her father sent her to us in the hope that she would recover all her faculties. It would appear she suffers from episodes of dementia.
Is she aggressive?
Sometimes, but only toward herself. She has never hit out at anyone else, I can assure you of that. She wasn't like that this morning. Something must have upset her.
That's one way to put it.
The poor girl is exhausted, but that's not the cause of her problem.
Are you all right, Elizabeth? Do you feel any better?
When did she arrive?
4 days ago.
Okay. My mother had already gone missing.
Are you all right, Elizabeth? You gave us quite a fright.
Take it easy, miss.
Let me... I just need to get back to my room.
Of course, my dear. Go ahead.
You saw it, didn't you?
Pardon me?
I segni della bestia.
The sign of the beast. He's referring to the tattoo on her hand.
Yes, Your Eminence, I saw it. I don't know what the young woman has been through, but she is marked for life.
It is the least one can say. You know the meaning, don't you?
Protection against the evil one.
It is a rare practice reserved for cases of possession, Louis. I have seen it during exorcism.
Gentlemen, it's getting late. It is time for everyone to go to bed. It has been a long day.
It's all the more delicate.
I'll see what I can do, but the case I'm on at the moment might well leave me with very few opportunities. Well, I am impressed with all this splendor.
But don't spend too much time with Mr. Washington, my dear, or you'll lose your pretty accent. You seem to be intrigued by that statue.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Lord Mortimer is fond of atypical works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal. But I must say, he does have some outstanding pieces.
Sir Hole, who was that young lady with you?
Elizabeth Adams, Mr. President. She would have liked to have stayed with us, but the poor thing is exhausted.
Elizabeth Adams?
Miss Adams is here to rest. You have perhaps already come across her in the corridors. She arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is not here for the same reasons as yourselves. Consequently, I'm counting on your indulgence. On that note, it's very late. You must be exhausted. The servant will accompany you to your rooms.
Ladies, gentlemen, I bid you all good night. Mr. President, Your Eminence, Duchess, you have the same rooms as usual. You, Monsieur de Richet, will find your room at the end of the corridor.
Well, my friends, I am bone tired. I am off to my bed. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir. I shall do likewise.
Louis, I shall see you in the morning. Sleep well.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Oh, man. It's been quite a day. Right. Where is my room? Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte. Monsieur Jacques Perru.
A few leaves out of an old encyclopedia. Decorum guide.
President George Washington.
Honey, the remedy of the gods.
Huh, that's me.
Right. So what shall I do with this letter? It might be about my mother's disappearance. But if I open it, I'll be betraying Biaggi's trust. What should I do? Damn. Can't wait to open it, but I gave my word to Biaggi, so... Too bad. I'll wait until I hand it to Mother.
Wow, nice room. Mortimer sure doesn't do things halfway. Saint Jerome and the Angel. Yet again, art with political undertones with an image of a saint hearing voices.
Judith beheading Holofernes. Ironic in a way, when you know that the artist represented herself as Judith beheading her mentor, who had raped her.
Saturn devouring his son. Again? I saw the same theme in the hall. I wouldn't like to be his son. Saint Francis of Assisi in ecstasy, before superior voices. It always amuses me to see the conversion of St. Paul by Caravaggio. It's incredible. It doesn't look like a copy, but I was sure the original was in Rome. Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer's giving to his guests. Very jolly.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.